So, sir, my first question would be your how your filmmaking journey started. What inspired you to become a filmmaker?
My filmmaking journey started long ago. I think I was, and I didn't know. So I come from Bhopal. Bhopal is a was a small town. Now it's not a small town anymore. But for us, I thought that filmmakers, if you can, you can only become a filmmaker if you're born in Bhopal or if you're born in Bombay. You can't become a filmmaker otherwise. I had no idea how to become a filmmaker, but my one of my school teachers, she pointed this to my mother that Ajitesh is a visual thinker. I used to write essays, and my essays were very visual driven. They were not novel language, but they were very visual driven. So I used to describe all like objects. I used to describe roads and streets. So she told my mother, and my mother is a professor of history. So she comes from an academic background. So she started researching what medium I can go into. And my dad was a musician before he got married. So my dad wanted me to become a musician. So I had all access to music and movies while growing up. But I was struggling to decide what I want to be, honestly, for the longest time. Till I attended a filmmaking workshop in Delhi. And that is when I realized I want to do films because I felt magical when I saw that you can write a script and it can get converted into picture, motion picture. I felt that is game changer. I felt it is literally magic happening. So yeah, so it started. It I think I there were energies working towards making me a filmmaker always. I was never forced. My parents were extremely supportive. I was never forced to become engineer or lawyer or doctor.
So, when you attended the workshop, it was like in your graduation days or your.
No, no, I was in school, and that workshop was actually, I for my age, I would have been in 10th grade or 10th or 11th grade, but I was not officially eligible for that workshop because they were only taking people who had passed 12th. But because my family, my mama, they all pushed, they insisted the workshop teachers to take me, so I was allowed. So yeah, I mean, I was a special entry, but that changed my life because then I had clarity that I want to make films and not pursue music. So yeah.
So then you did your graduation in which course?
So I came to this. I mean, my dad said if you want to pursue films, then might as well study films, and that is why my dad only found few film schools in Pune, Bombay, and I wanted to be in Mumbai. So unfortunately, there's like no big film school here apart from Whistling Woods, which is very expensive. So I found this small film school called Zima. It's by Z Networks, so it's Z Institute of Media Arts. Nothing great infrastructure wise, but what film schools, what they do is they give you an environment. They nurture your passion. So I will never say that you can become a filmmaker if you go to a film school. But what I will always say is that a film school will always give you that environment to nurture and identify your passion towards cinema. So that's what my film school did. It was an undergrad course. My film school taught me how to watch a film. I didn't know how to watch a film. And for me, I mean, it gave me a lot of a world cinema perspective. I started watching a lot of French films. I started watching a lot of European films, Irani cinema. So my worldview sort of expanded. And you know how, I mean, film school basically gives you like, it sets bars in your life that, okay, this is the kind of cinema I want to make. This is the kind of cinema I don't want to make. So I was experimenting with my own stories. And so stories were always there. But yes,
How long? Like which course? Screenplay direction.
no, it was a 3 year course. So first was all subjects, and then eventually I chose editing as my specialization, because I don't, in my opinion, I do not recommend direction, because nobody can teach you direction. That's how I understand filmmaking. Direction comes from within. So it's always better to have a technical or a learning of a technical department, be it cinematography or editing or sound. For me, editing worked because it's also building of narrative. So you build narratives in editing. So that helped me a lot to become a director.
Then how did you find your first job in film?
My first job was a very huge, a big project actually. So one of my mentors from my film school got a call from his friend that they are looking for someone to join their crew. And this series was Sense8 season 2, directed by Lana Wachowski for Netflix. It was a big project, I think more than 300 crore budget. And I was the junior most crew member in it. And they were all in Bombay shooting in 2013, 14. And I was in the location department in the prep, and then I sort of became set runner during the shoot. So that was, yeah, so that was my first project. Great learning, because I think it was one of the best crews in the world. And people from very diverse, people from all countries. There were people from Tokyo, Japan. There were people from US, UK, Germany. So a lot of people came together to work on it. So yeah, that was my
What is
first.
the job of a location like?
So location. So basically, how a film set works is that there are different departments. There is a production department, and within production, there are sub departments. There is a location department. Location department, department gives location departments a brief, and that brief usually comes from the direction department. And that brief is the kind of locations they are looking for. So the description can be like, for example, we are looking for a modern looking cafe. So the location department, especially the local line production team, will go and look for a modern looking cafe. And they will shortlist few locations. Those locations will be sent to the direction department, and then they will approve it. So this was our job. We were looking for the right locations for the crew. Yeah.
So how many members are there? Like only one person or multiple?
No, I mean there can be too many people also. It depends on the kind of budgets you have, but mostly it's two people can make a team. Yeah.
So then you did your first short film yesterday in
That
which?
was not my film.
Oh, sorry, you were AD there.
Yeah, I was helping a friend. Yeah, I was helping a friend.
What is the job of an AD? Can you please?
A job of an AD. A job of an assistant director is actually to manage people on set, and it's actually very different during pre-production and very different during production of the project. During pre-production, a job of an AD, so there is a hierarchy of assistant directors. The first assistant director usually makes the schedule of the shooting, and they usually decide how many days of shoot they're going to be, how many uh, nights and days they are going to be utilizing, and then how many characters are there, and then the team will be, then second AD will mostly follow the chief AD. Second AD is the one who makes call sheet, who decides the call sheet. Call sheet is a document where all the information are being put in from what you're going to shoot the next day. So it has a small schedule. It has call time, sunrise, sunset, temperature, emergency contacts, line producer, EP contacts, etc., etc. Third AD is the AD who's usually responsible for all the background action that you see. So there is the primary action that happens between the main characters and secondary characters. Then there is a movement behind. There are people walking. If you're shooting a market, market cannot be empty. Market needs people. There are other customers as well. So third AD is usually responsible for making sure that the movement is right. Apart from that, third AD is also responsible for art art, set dressing, and action props. Action props are the props that usually the primary characters hold. So if I write that Akash receives a phone call, so suddenly the phone becomes an action prop. So I have to make, as a third AD, I have to make sure that the phone is there. And there's one more second AD is usually responsible for costume breakdowns, uh, costume change, and makeup change, and yeah. So that sort of. So mostly, yeah. I mean, to cut it short, an AD is the one who runs the film set. All other departments, they follow the assistant director team. Without assistant director, there can be no shoot. A director cannot function. So yeah.
So, do they prefer film school student, or if they haven't done any film school, they can also become an AD?
See, again, it's a very different. The whole misconception I feel in the industry right now is that if to become a director you have to be a film student or an assistant director. I don't think like that. As I've always said that if you want to be a filmmaker, it does not mean that you have to go to a film school. You can film school is a very. I was more confident about making films before I joined film school. Now I know that there are people who are judging me, so I'm not so confident, but I'm still making films. But the confidence that a film set gives you is very different from a confidence that a film school gives you. So if you want to become an AD, you just reach out to first ADs. So figure out contacts and tell them that you have no experience, so you will intern. So become an intern and learn how the team works, learn how coordination happens, and then you slowly climb the ladder. So no chief AD looks at your degree or film school or etc etc. But and passion for films is an add-on.
So, what are the working hours as well for?
Working working it's a sensitive topic. Working hours on an average in India. So Sense8 it was an American show, and I have worked mostly on Indian shows and projects. So in India, average working hour shift is between 12 to 14 hours. I mean, people tend to. I do not enjoy that shift because, I mean, I come from privilege. ADs and directors, they are the last ones to come, first one to leave. But all the teams from light department, art department, setting team, they are the first ones to come and last to leave. So for them, it becomes 15-hour shift. So they hardly get sleep, and it's very dangerous. It's harmful to have that sort of a lifestyle. So I'm not a huge admirer of that shift, but that's how it is right now. This 12 to 14 hours. If I become a successful director in future, maybe I want to shoot for 8 hours. So 8 hours is the best.
Okay. And how long it takes to like the shooting process? How many days or years?
So for how long does it take? So it depends on budgets. I can tell you the film that currently working on. It's a low budget film. It's an independently produced film. It's not a studio film. So for an independently low budget film, around 30 to 35 days is a sweet spot. But this is keeping in mind that it's not too many locations. It's not a travel film, because then the more the locations, the more the days, uh, more characters. So it actually first AD's job to figure out how many days it will be efficient for the crew. But yeah, I mean, for a feature length, it can vary from 30 to 35 days for an indie film, but for a studio film, it can go for 6 months, 7 months. Yeah.
And do they involve in editing or post production?
Assistant directors? No. So there is a different job for that. So DAs, directors assistant, is a different job, which is basically a DA is a bridge between the whole crew and director. So if you want to reach out to the director, you reach out to the DA first. And DA is basically sort of scheduling for director, making sure that the script is being followed at all points. Uh, they also make notes for the directors during the productions, and during shoot they make sure that the schedule is being followed, so they are not missing out on anything. So DAs are the one who basically stay till from the beginning till the end of the shoot. Yeah.
You have also worked in Daily Crime, so what was your experience there?
Delhi Crime was season one. I worked on Delhi Crime season one, and it was probably one of the best film sets I've been on. See, Richie Mehta is the creator of the show, and he's a film school. He's a legend. He's a great writer. He's a great director. His next series is coming in 4 5 days. It's called Poacher on Amazon Prime. But Delhi Crime was a great experience. It was never a Netflix original show when we started working on it. It was an independently produced show. Some 8 9 producers and financiers came together from US and India to make this show happen because everybody believed in the script. The script was very powerful. So I joined the team, and I we had a great shoot. We were shooting in Delhi, and it was a very sensitive subject matter. So at all days, we were aware that what we were shooting needs different kind of sensibilities to tackle. We were shooting very sensible. So we had that sync within the crew. So it was a great learning process, and I think that was my also last project as an assistant director. I never did after that.
So did you know that it will become what has it? Like it has become so
No,
huge, like everybody talks about it. And it got
we
nominated for Emmy as well, if I'm not
it
wrong.
won
It
an
won,
Emmy.
it won, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that's huge.
So during the making, we actually used to joke. Uh, we used to each other. We used to say. So ADs have. I'll tell you honestly, ADs is the most thankless job because all other departments you will see their work on screen. Costume you will see, makeup you will see, director's work you will see, but an AD's work only very you will never see it on screen. So nobody knows what AD does. So to be for each other as ADs is the most beautiful thing that happens on a film set. An AD will always protect an AD from the world. So whenever we used to have heavy days, we used to joke saying that no, don't worry, this all will be worth it one day. We'll win an Emmy award. And till then, we didn't even know where the show is going to be. Is it going to be on Netflix or Prime? We had no idea. And the joke became a reality. And then one day we received an email from our producer, Apurva, saying that, guys, we have shortlisted, we are nominated for an international Emmy. So, yeah, I mean, these are the moments as AD you get inspired from and influence from. We didn't know what we were making for what. We were making it for the love of cinema. We were making it because we were enjoying the process. So yeah, it deserved to win Emmy.
Obviously. And can you tell me a little bit about WOM, your recent documentary film? What it's
Yeah.
about? And
So Voom, Voom is a short for Woman of My Billion. W for Woman and of My Billion. Woman of My Billion is a documentary about a girl called Srishti Bakshi walking from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. It's she's walking to understand and acknowledge violence against women in India. So this is the film, and this is her movement. And I met her when she was crossing Delhi, and I was shooting for Delhi Crime. Yeah, so I was never the one who initiated the doc, but the movement was always there. And when I met her, I told her that documentaries always help amplify the movement. They help uh, with the reach. So that idea sort of stayed in her head. And then when she reached Kashmir, thankfully she had a camera team walking with her all the time. And they were documenting stories of women that she was meeting for their own internal research purposes. So then she gave me some 1,000 hours of footage. She said, "Oh, you wanted this to become a doc. Why don't you make one?" And the design was such that one of the producers of Delhi Crime, called Apurva Bakshi, happened to be her sister. So that's how I met Srishti. So Apurva facilitated the whole project, and she, in a way, she found me, and in a way, she found Voom. So she is the person responsible for Voom actually, and I was just at the right place at the right time. And I got 1,000 hours of footage. It took me some 4 months to watch, and obviously, the footage had no grammar and no pattern of film. So I had to reverse engineer the whole process. I started imagining myself walking, and that's how I made a film on paper first. So everything was written on paper, from each cut to what segment of the talk will come where is she walking. If she is in Madhya Pradesh, then what is the subject matter we are discussing in the film? If she's crossing Delhi, where are we with the stories? So yeah, from 300 interviews that I got, I shortlisted three interviews that sort of represented their own spectrum. So it covered all topics of the 300 interviews. So that's how the film was made. And it got done in 2020 January, and March we hit COVID. So we had full plans to actually travel the whole world with the film, because that was the whole agenda while making, that we want to travel and show it in all institutions. So we had a one year break, so 6 or 7 months break, and then the film traveled to some 14 countries. So that was a nice thing about it.
Like right, your film school, like you choose editing in your film school, like it also helped while making the documentary.
Yeah,
That's
yes, definitely.
that's
I love edit, so did.
And if somebody wants to see the film, how can they see?
So right now we screened a film at Mami. So we just got done with the festival rounds, and now we are aiming for institutional rounds. So now I'm going to travel with the film to different colleges. We are designing the whole festival, college festivals, and I'm going to go to these premium colleges in the country and show the film to the kids. That was the whole agenda. But apart from that, my producers, Apurva Bakshi, Manisha, and Priyanka Chopra, is also one of the producers on the film. So they are planning a release on a major OTT platform. Yeah. So soon.
So currently, are you working on your future projects or currently writing something?
Yeah, so I finished with a film called Bhopal Boys. It's a kids film, but it's for everybody. So that is one film that right now I'm making with again the same producers as Voom, and hopefully uh, we'll be shooting October onwards. Yeah.
If somebody wants to like join you or assist you, how can they approach you?
I have an email ID which is ajitesh.work@gmail.com, and I'm not growing up right now, but we mostly from June onwards we'll start looking for crew. So yeah, I mean, if you want to like, send anyone can send me an email, and if they fit, the profile fits, we obviously work.
And please do recommend some films, your favorite films and few filmmakers, like they inspired you.
Oh my god, this is such a big umbrella, because so I'll tell you, I'm not talking about the popular ones because everyone knows. I will tell you about what changed in me, what films changed in me. So my first ever, uh, because I come from Bhopal, so for me, we only used to get Bollywood releases in Bhopal, but we used to have access to like pirated DVDs. So I what I used to do is, and like I used to, like, you know how at homes you see like some coins or 20, 30 rupees kept in the drawer. So I used to steal those currency and go to these DVD shops and buy international films. So I clearly remember one film that I watched that basically gave me a different perspective was Castaway. Castaway, Tom Hanks. That film basically spoke to me, said, "Oh, you can make a film like that." So Castaway is that, Into the Wild is that, and Ken Loach is this British filmmaker that I really love. His film Kess really inspired me, and the popular ones, of course, Stanley Kubrick, who made 2001 Space Odyssey. Full Metal Jacket is one of my favorite films. 400 Blows by Truffaut. Irani cinema I really love. So Abbas Kiarostami is one filmmaker. I call him, belovedly, I call him Abbas Bhai. All his films. Abbas Kiarostami is, I think, one of the greatest filmmakers ever lived in the world. My favorite of his is Taste of Cherry, and I mean all Abbas Kiarostami film. There's a documentary called Homework, where he goes to these he goes to a school and he interviews these kids and he's asking them, why did you not do your homework? And the responses that he gets is outstanding. Jafar Panahi is a great filmmaker. His film White Balloon, what a film, and all his films. City of God. So yeah, I mean Fernando's films. So his film Two Popes is also I really love. Gaspar No. But I mean, you need to be prepared for Gaspar No. You can't randomly watch. But yeah, definitely I would recommend more Irani than, if I to think of more Irani cinema than Asghar Farhadi's A Separation. Masterclass in writing. Vankar Vai. Vankar Vai is again my favorite filmmaker. In the mood for love, everything, cinematography and music. I love it. I love it. And David Fincher, the popular ones. David Fincher is my favorite. I loved Fight Club, Seven, Girl in the Dragon Tattoo, and I'm so sad that they cancelled Mindhunter, but it's one of my favorite shows. Nolan, of course, and Martin Scorsese. Taxi Driver is one of all-time favorite films. Werner Herzog, mind blowing. His docs, you should watch his docs. I think now he's doing weather reports, random weather reports, where he goes on YouTube live and he just talks about the weather outside. And few films, Nomadland I really love. So I also actually collect screenplays. So I have Nomadland screenplay. I have Banshees of Inisherin, one of the most beautiful writings I've ever read. Screenplay. I recently got Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon. So yeah, all these films. Joyland, this Pakistani film, I really loved. From this year, Oscar Past Lives, I loved. There's a film on movie, I think Mexican, called The Delinquents. A very good film. Movie has the best collection. Perfect Days by Wim Wenders, which is German filmmaker Wim Wenders, who made this Japanese film. Drive My Car, again one Japanese film that I really loved. Actually, there's a cool film that really inspired me was this German film called Victoria. It's a single shot, 120-minute film. So do watch it. It's crazy. I didn't know it was a single shot, and I watched it in theater. So it took me. I was shocked. So that was a shock value. There's a fun film called, I think it's a French film. It's called Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person. Super fun, hilarious. I don't know where you can find it. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of films that come to my head, but these are the
Any
ones.
Indian films?
Indian films, Vishal Bhardwaj is my favorite filmmaker. So Makbool is my all-time favorite film. Kamine, Heather is something that really inspires me. Satya is something that, I mean, I always enjoy watching that film. Uh, Satyajit Ray's cinema is iconic. Ritvik Ghatak. Uh, yeah, I mean, Anurag Kashyap, the old Anurag Kashyap, I mean, I am a huge fan, but I miss the old Anurag Kashyap because Anurag Kashyap has always been like this. He's fought for us. You know, he has found a space for young filmmakers in the world. He is the one of the biggest fighters as for budding filmmakers. But as a viewer, I miss the old version of Kashyap, the Devdi, the Gulal, that those films. And for documentaries, I watch a lot of documentaries. So Rakesh Sharma's documentary called Final Solution, that is a very good film. I think it's a banned film, so I don't know if you'll find it. Anand Patwardhan's docs. Uh, I loved Archana Phatke's doc called About Love. I liked Abhay's Placebo in India and All That Breeds, of course, and An Insignificant Man. So yeah, these are some. But I mean, there are lots of Hindi films, but right now I can't think.
Okay, okay, no problem. And if somebody wants to filmmaker, so what advice would you give?
Or advice I will give. Shit, yeah, that's a lot of pressure. Just be what I have learned in all these years is to be extremely truthful to your craft. Don't go out to make something that you think is working. Make something that you feel extremely passionate about. So, and if you do that, then the film will automatically fall in place. But be aware of things that are happening around you because films speak of time. You know, film is an art form that I will always, like how books are. You know, like if I read George Orwell 1984 right now, still relatable because it speaks of a time that did exist in history. Films are exactly like that. So you have to be extremely aware of your environment, of if, what is happening in the world, what good, bad, both, and then be sensitive towards it. Deal with it very sensitive. Make your characters more sensitive, more emotional, very intelligent, but aware. So yeah, awareness is something that I tell all filmmakers that we should be aware.
Sir, thank you so much for joining. It's such a pleasure
Arre,
to be able to
it
talk to
was
you.
great.
It's such a
I hope it
pleasure.
was nice for you.
It's absolutely great, sir. It's my pleasure to be able to talk to like filmmakers. Like
Yeah.
I want to become a filmmaker. That's
All the best. Huh? Keep reading. Read a lot.
yes, sir.
Reading really helps. Watch films.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. For joining.
Thank you.
Bye, sir.